Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I want to go over some possible Valentine's Day items that we might see go limited this upcoming Valentine's Day. Let's get started. And there's actually a couple of choices that are still off sale that could actually end up going limited this Valentine's Day, and I want to make a video going over some of the other choices that they do have that we might see go limited pretty soon. And they might not actually do anything for Valentine's Day. They are kind of half and half whether they try to commit to a holiday and make items limited for the holiday or not. Like for example, for New Year's, we didn't see anything New Year's related really go limited, but for Christmas, we saw the entire month of December have basically a winter item every day go limited. So it really depends on how much they actually view these holidays as important or not. So who knows, I might not actually get anything Valentine's Day related going limited actually near Valentine's Day, but I still want to make this video just in case we do and see how likely some of the options are. So I think I have a list of every possible option that I've seen so far that is off sale and kind of matches what Roblox is making limited right now. So I will go through them in order from least likely to most likely in my opinion. I think there's around 20 or 25 of them, so we'll go through all of them and see if maybe if you want some of these, how likely they are to go limited. So starting off with the least likely item relating to Valentine's Day that I think will go limited is the 8-bit heart face. This one is the least likely. It is a heart related item, but they haven't done a face going limited yet since they brought back limiteds, so I doubt they would do this one. I think they are trying to work on the kind of animated faces right now, so I don't think they're going to go with classic faces and do anything with them as of right now. So that's why I have it at the least likely option, but it is still a possibility. It does have a heart related kind of look to it, so they could choose it, but I don't think it is as likely as the other choices. Next we have hovering heart. This one was free, and once again it is another heart related item, but it wasn't actually Valentine's Day directly related. It was available for free for limited time either through a code or for purchasing, but I don't think they are doing free things other than the eggs currently, so I don't think they would do this one, but once again it is here as it is another heart related item. Next up over here, another kind of heart related item. This one doesn't really fit the Valentine's Day theme as much as the others, so that's why it's towards the bottom of the list. Once again, it does have a heart, so they could go with it if they do want to, but once again not as likely as it isn't directly Valentine's Day related. Next up, this one once again another hearts related love kind of item, but this one will probably be more Veterans Day related than Valentine's Day, but still it's a pretty cool one. I could see them doing this one. It is kind of that older off sale, kind of more forgotten item, so they could go with this one, but I think there are more directly Valentine's Day items that relate to the holiday other than this one. Next up over here we have Valentine's Day Heartstyle, and this one is directly Valentine's Day related, but they haven't done many hairs. The only hair I think they have done as of recently is the Tick's Shaggy, so I don't see them doing this hair unfortunately. It does look pretty cool, but I think they are probably skipping hairs for now. Next up over here with the Bandana of the month, the February Love Bandit. They haven't made any of these items in this series limited, so that's why it's towards the bottom once again. I think it would be cool to see them start going back to this series, but I don't know if they are looking at this as of right now, so that's why it's towards the bottom, but it's still a pretty cool one, and I think it definitely will go limited at some point in the future, but probably not this Valentine's Day. Same thing goes for the Chicken of the month. I do have it a bit higher than the other one because this actually has had a few of them go limited from the series, so it could go limited, but I don't know, they haven't really gone back to it as of right now, so they might skip it for this Valentine's Day. Next up over here we have Love Song headphones. These are pretty cool. They have hearts all over them. Once again, another kind of love related item, but not Valentine's Day directly related item, so that's why it's towards the bottom, but it was in a sale, so they could see it as a possible candidate for that, so definitely keep an eye out for this one. It could go limited if they do want to go for it, but I think there are more directly Valentine's Day related items later on. Next up I have this Anti-Valentine's Day tie. This one is directly for the holiday. I'm not sure if they want to go for the item that's against the holiday, but they could if they want to. It is a tie. They do typically like making ties limited, so they could go back to this one. I do have it here since it is kind of against the holiday, but it still does relate, so it is a possible choice right over here. Next over here, Brotherhood of the Hearts band. This is definitely a pretty nice one. It is a classic, and it's kind of what they're going to at the moment of these older kind of off sales, so they could go back to this one. I'm not sure if they would find it. I think they are kind of just searching random related items, and this one has hearts, but it does have bands, so it might be hard to find a bit for them, so who knows if they'll go back to this one, but I think it's a pretty cool choice and definitely a possible option to go limited. Next up over here, Valentine's Keeper. This one does seem like something they would choose. It is kind of that forgotten kind of item, so everything from this point on I think is definitely a very high chance if they do want to do something for the holidays, so I do have this one at the bottom because I think this is something they would do kind of randomly, not really directly for that holiday, so but it's still a possible choice if they do see it show up. Next up over here, Hearts hats. This one's pretty cool, and there's another kind of hearts related item. This one is definitely Valentine's Day themed right over here, and is another older kind of item, so if they do want to see this one, I could see this one going limited if they do see it, but definitely not a bad choice and definitely one of the possible candidates for this month. Next up over here, heart phones. Definitely similar to the other headphones, but I think this one is definitely more directly Valentine's Day related, so this one I think has a higher chance. It definitely looks pretty cool and definitely one that I would see do pretty well actually if it went limited, so definitely not that bad. A pretty cool choice over here. Next up, Valentine's Day frog prints. This one is definitely a pretty likely one. They do like these kind of shoulder friends for limiteds. They did that Krabby Cat, which was an Easter shoulder friend limited time item, so they could go with this one for Valentine's Day, so this is definitely a pretty good candidate and definitely seems like one of those kind of older forgotten ones that I typically like making limited as well, so not a bad choice. Next up, Heart Bandana, another one that's kind of random, but it seems like people do like this one, so they might go with it. It definitely fits the Valentine's Day theme, so definitely not a bad choice right over here. Next up, Valentine's Day 2013 Beanie. They have made a couple of these older year-related Valentine's Day items limited already. They have a couple that are also beanies that are limited, so they could go with this one. There are actually two I have on the list, and the next one is actually this 2015 Beanie. Both of them are kind of the same level. They could choose either of them to go limited if they do want to, and I think they're pretty likely chances since many others that already follow the same kind of pattern have gone limited as well, so definitely not bad choices. I think these are definitely high chance. Next up, True Love top hat. This one says Valentine's Day all over it, basically. It has the hearts with the words on it. It has the heart on the front, so definitely Valentine's Day kind of item. Doesn't have that many favorites, so it's definitely kind of forgotten, so I definitely think they might want to make this one limited so people remember it again. Now down to the top 3 choices that I do have, and these next two are kind of related. We do have the Valentine's Day Balance Boppers and the Broken Heart Boppers. These are both pretty likely. I think this is definitely something they would choose. They have already done a Boppers actually pretty recently that went limited, so they could go with these. I think this Broken Heart one is a bit more likely since they did make the Glitz and Glitter top hat limited, which also released during this time for Valentine's Day, so they definitely have an eye out on during that time period, so they could go with this one. It has a lot of favorites. People would definitely like this one, and this one too I think is very likely as well since it does match that kind of style. And for the number 1 likeliest item I think could go limited this Valentine's Day is this 8-bit heart. They definitely love ties going limited, and I think this is definitely something they would love to make limited as well. It's pink, it's red, it has basically everything you need for Valentine's Day, and it definitely seems like it's kind of an older item that they would definitely like to choose to make limited, so I could definitely see this item along with some of the other choices on this list to go limited in the near future. So yeah, let me know what kind of Valentine's Day item you think might go limited, if they even will make any of them limited. These are just my choices. Of course, they could just go somewhere random and make 8-bit heart face limited. You never really know with Roblox what they might do, but this is just my predictions, and let me know what yours are as well. But yeah, that is for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.